playing defensive back, you can never really play strictly one technique all game. Here and there, you can maybe get away with it, but it's very rare. So you have to have a toolbox that is, full of tools, all type of tools you can use.
Four-man rush from the Rams. He gets it out right side. It's caught and hit immediately. Ramsey, the ball's on the deck.
You know, any of you detractors out there that think that Jalen Ramsey ain't going to tackle, I just want to show you just, body slamming him right there when the opportunity comes.
This was a cover two, and I just like to switch up my cover two sometimes because I do play a lot of man. So I feel like as soon as Dak saw me man turn, he's thinking, I have this out route immediately. They're in man-to-man. He's going to beat him off of leverage. I have this immediately. And so that's kind of a cat and mouse game that I play personally with quarterbacks just because they know I play man a lot. So as soon as they see me man turn, he's probably thinking, oh, we have man. But I was actually in cover two, and I was able to whip my head around, immediately and make a good tackle on Amari right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Jalen, is that a decision you make in the film room, or is that a decision that you make between the lines that you're going to play like that?
Both. And I say both because going into the week, I'm usually like, all right, I'll have, I'm going to go into this game with these certain tools in my toolbox. I think this will work and this will work. But when it gets to the game, I'll be able to really think about and figure out what I feel comfortable using at the time. Because everybody has a plan until you get into the heat of the moment. And then you got to go with what you feel like is right. So that's all that was. I went into the game with a couple tools in my toolbox, and I felt like that was, at the time, was the right tool to use.
I know, bro. That's on. I should have came quicker. No, not if I zone, he wouldn't do it.
Playing DB, everybody, thinks and want to say that it's more of a reaction position. But the way I try to play is I try to make the receiver react off me. I try to be in such a zone and work on my technique and be as flawless as I can be, like a perfectionist kind of, that they, in a sense, also have to play mind games with me, feel like they have to play mind games with me and react off of what I may do. Is he going to press this time? Is he going to bail? Is he going to play off? Is he going to put his hands on me? Is he going to fake it? Is he going to... I just expanded my toolbox to try to not so always make it a reaction for me, but for them as well.
Jalen, you mentioned the word patience. It fascinates me because I often believe that whichever one is the most patient, a wide receiver or a DB, is normally going to win that rep. But what does patience mean to a cornerback?
It's tough because you got guys who are quick, can shake, can get in and out of their routes, and you got guys who nowadays, their connection with their quarterback is rock solid. So the quarterback knows what they're going to do. They know when the quarterback's looking for them to be in certain spots. So us being patient and being able to throw off the timing of them and their connection is what I think is most important. That's what patience means to me, is throwing off the timing of the quarterback and the receiver. If I can throw off the timing of the quarterback and the receiver, I feel like I can win immediately because everything is timing. And especially I've been blessed to be able to play with great D lines, where in Jacksonville I had Yannick, I had Calais, I had Dante for a little bit, and I knew they were gonna get to the quarterback.
Hey, get after the ass. We gonna lock them down, y'all get after them. Get after them. We finna lock them down, get after the ass. Already.
And then here at LA, I got Aaron Donald. And I got everybody else, but I got Aaron Donald. That's really all I need to say.
And he's going to have to eat it. Aaron Donald breaking through. Aaron Donald cannot be contained.
I mean, when your team needs it, Superman shows up.
They throw it quick, good for me. If they hold on to it, good for our D-line. Either way it goes, it's a win for our defense.
You know why we don't get no picks, man? They be getting these sacks.
So when you get a guy like T.Y. here, all right, and you know the type of quickness that he has, what are you thinking about when you play a guy who's smaller but quicker?
Yeah, I definitely had to, switch up my techniques with T.Y. I like playing press bail on T.Y., make him think I was going to put my hands on him, because when I was able to get my hands on T.Y., I felt like it was over. But playing press bail a little bit or giving ground so he wouldn't shake me off the line, and then I'm at a complete loss. So right here, that's kind of what I did. I gave ground, again, playing outside, being able to run inside while being visual is very easy for me personally. I guess it's easy for me to break off the outside leg as I feel like I'm running that way and also be visual. So this is what I was able to do on this play and then just undercut it and make the interception.
Jalen Ramsey steps right in front of T.Y. Hilton. He undercuts the route, and boy, he makes an excellent catch.
How much of this play, Jalen, are your eyes on the quarterback and feeling the receiver? How much are you seeing the receiver and then your eyes come to the quarterback? What are you trying to do here?
Yeah, on this play, honestly, how we played things in Jacksonville, I don't remember specifically, but I'm most certain with how I played it and how I see Miles going with the tight end right away. I was supposed to be in man, like pressed. I wasn't supposed to give ground or bail off or anything. I was definitely supposed to be pressed man-to-man, mano-a-mano right here. I kind of study route combinations a lot during the week. So with Doyle coming out and just feeling T.Y.'s inside release and what he was going to do, I felt that I could just feel him and look through the quarterback to feel what was coming, and it worked out perfectly for me.
He just realizes the route, and he does a nice job undercutting T.Y. Hilton.
Being comfortable is the most important thing for me personally. I have to be comfortable out there playing. A lot of things that I do is definitely a feel that I get from the game. You can't just always go out there and do the same thing over and over and over. It may work for you for a week or even a few weeks, but eventually people are going to catch on, so you have to adjust.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You just sit your ass over there and watch me do what I do.
What are the things that you look at when you're preparing it? If you're looking at hands, you're looking at feet, you're looking at routes, what is that checklist that you go through with the different receivers that you face?
I try to pick up on the non-common things. Sometimes I pick up on how they jog out of the huddle. If I think they're going to get the ball, they may jog out of the huddle. They might get in their stance a little bit different. There are some guys who, tighten their gloves if they think the ball might be coming their way. There's some guys who do, little things with their gloves and get ready. So I try to study all the uncommon things just to make sure that it's not an edge for them. And everything else is I have to trust on myself and my ability at some point. Like I can't be overthinking too much. I kind of got to get in my zone.
It didn't take long, Jalen, for you to fit in with the Rams. I mean, you get traded to L.A., and your first game is in Atlanta, and there's Julio there.
Yeah, I had to be ready to guard Julio. First game as a Ram. That was a way to pop it off for sure.
When I watch Atlanta, because of who Julio is, they'll run 22-yard corner routes or 22-yard comebacks, which nobody else in the league does. How hard is that to adjust to in just 1 week? Because I'm sure your clock or your muscle memory is more tied in to other people's routes.
It was extremely hard that game. They got me on a deep route that game because of that. As soon as we got to a certain level, I started to slow down thinking he was going to get the comeback, and he kept going. And then he did the comeback. So they switched it up on me a lot that game. That's why I said that was a really good back and forth. And, it was my first game as a Ram, so I had a lot of adrenaline pumping. I was ready to go. Sometimes there's certain things that may be lacking, like a guy may be fast or a guy may be big, but he kind of has it all. He's big, fast, strong, can run really good routes, tough hands. He has the whole complete toolbox, in my opinion. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league easily.
Tell us about what your mindset was this week getting ready for Stephon Diggs, because obviously he had an unbelievable season, caught a lot of balls, all that. But what were you thinking this week when you got a chance to line up on him?
So what I know about him is that he's a router. Routes are insane. His releases are insane. So I wanted to be patient with him and not let him route me up, which is essentially what he did right here. I wanted to just, not let him shake me off the line, kind of give it to him and then attach to his hip immediately. But he still was able to route me up at the top of his route with, his sticks and his fakes to the outside. And it was honestly a great throw and a great catch because I was still
right there.
I was still right there. If the timing was off even just a little bit by them, or I could have held him, a second later because I see my D-line getting there, then this could have been a completely different play. But they got me on this one. This was a good play by them.
Jalen, you say they got you on this one. How do you play this differently? If you say they got you, how do you win this rep with that little hesitation and then the break in over the top?
even though I opened the gate and I attached to his hip immediately, like right at the goal line, what I should have done genuinely is try to put my hands on him right at the line to throw off the timing even more. Just because I know in the red zone, it's all timing. So I should have put my hands on him immediately instead of opening the gate and giving him that right there. I remember going to the sideline, getting the surface, and Staley was like, we practiced this a ton of times. So I had already knew I had messed up.
I mean, here you are against DK. So, like, I don't know if you could play this any better than what you do right here. You know it's going to be just a straight go route?
Yeah, just by my film study, and when he gets to a certain, landmark and how he's digging, I knew he wasn't gonna. I knew what it was gonna be. But I felt like I was on top. At the end, once you see him get a tad bit of separation and the ball was overthrown just a little bit, it's because I felt like I was on top. I was on top for a while. I'm like, he's still not gonna throw that rainbow. Like, I'm fully on top of the receiver. So I was potentially thinking maybe he'll try the back shoulder, even though DK doesn't really do back shoulders much. He doesn't really go up like this. He catches most of his catches over his shoulder. That was me second guessing myself, and then he was able to get a little separation with a little chicken wing, but it was still good coverage, and it had to be like a perfect catch and throw, which is very tough.
Stone today. That's stone today. That's stone today. You better believe it.
I want to know how much you study the quarterback, because oftentimes we probably think of DBs, okay, he's just going to go study the guy that he's playing against. How much do you study these quarterbacks?
I study the quarterback sometimes even more than the receivers, especially this year. Obviously, I moved inside, played a little nickel. We call it the star. Played a little bit of that this year. So I moved around. I played outside and inside. So I definitely had to study the quarterback and even, formations and other receivers, multiple receivers. I couldn't just always focus in on one receiver or the number one receiver.
So when I see this play right here, and you've got Hopkins on your side, Jalen, in the stack like teams will do to you, and he motions across. And I see the reaction that you have right there. Like, I laugh because I'm saying, man, he don't get opportunities as it is. And now my guy is going to the other side of the field to catch a ball. I mean, it's not just him. I mean, it's DK. What are they doing to me? Like, they're not giving me a chance to play.
That's our way of trash talking, Jalen. Is like we put him in front of you and then we just motion him away just to get in your head just a little bit. That's how we do it.
What goes through your mind when I see that?
One, I think when it's a elite receiver and elite corner, I think that's the matchup the fans want to see. It. I feel like, for me personally, that's the matchup that I want. Like, I want that. I want that all the time. Like, I go to my coaches and say, put me on the best guy. And I feel like as a receiver, if I play receiver, my mindset would be like, coach, line me up where I normally line up. Don't motion me. Like, I'm going to beat him regardless. That's kind of how I see certain guys. Like, D-Hop motions a little bit, but most of the time he'll line up and be like, look, it's me and you. Like, which one of us gonna win? Mm-hmm. When I played Julio, he wasn't motioning at all, I don't think. It was like, look, it's me against you. Who gonna win? Big on big. So, that's kind of what I embrace, and that's what I like. And I like going against the best guys. And when that opportunity is taken away and I'm on a, potentially number 2 or 3 receiver, I know I'm not gonna get any action.
When I see you against the number 2 or number 3, you look like that kid in T-ball that's sitting out there in right field. Like, you look a little bit bored. I don't want to say you're bored, but I'm like, that's not what he wants to do. I know that.
I know where they're going to go with the ball. So, yeah, it's disappointing. I don't like that.
KB can't get open on me, bro. So he's not even throwing it.
How do you settle yourself to just play instead of getting impatient and just trying to go make a play?
It's tough. It's something that I honestly still feel like I'm growing. I've gotten to a point now, and this year has definitely helped me because I was able to still have success and, get the accolades that I was able to get and not have the, big time stats and the big time numbers, because everybody was able to see, my effect on the whole game and other things that I was able to do.
Nickel left, nickel left. Out of here.
Because that's my thing. I hate, feeling like I'm not making an impact on the game. And sometimes I can feel that way just because I'm not getting targets or I'm, you know, it's kind of a quote unquote boring game for me. But that in itself is an impact. You know, quarterbacks never going your way, and then you pushing all the opportunities to your teammates, and you be able to push the coverage completely over to another side and load the other side, and that's an impact in itself. That's a huge impact. It's kind of like how Aaron Donald has, you know, the D-line impact of they want to double team him and triple team him, and then the other guys will be able to get one-on-one. You'll get sacked. So this year, for sure, I started to take a lot of pride in that. And that was one way that I was able to grow and kind of be a little bit more patient at the end of games and not get so greedy. So, but that's definitely something I'm still growing in.
Play fake. Wilson drops to throw. Looking. Fires it deep downfield. Good coverage in the secondary, and the ball's intercepted. The ball is picked on by Jalen or Ramsey.
Jalen, take me into the formation here, because obviously formations play a huge part, especially when you're playing against a good corner. I often feel stacking guys up, shrinking them inside can put you in a bind a little bit. So talk to me a little bit about tight splits and how you play them.
Yeah, I hate tight splits because just like you said, it's definitely something that teams try to do to get guys like myself and other press corners off. They try to get us to play off, not get our hands on their receivers to mess up their timing, right? It was something that I've, you know, started to have to deal with, you know, in my second year in the league on for, you know, until now still is tight splits and trying to get me to play off coverage so I'm not pressing, and I got to play a different technique than the technique that I would like to play, which is usually press man. That's definitely what they did right here. That's what a lot of teams try to do. Try to, you know, condense you to expand you at times. That's kind of a saying we have. So as soon as he gave me the outside, like he was going to do the corner, I was already outside leverage, so I didn't have to bite on it. I didn't have to move too much. And then as soon as he broke back in, it was just a race to the pylon, and Russ threw one up there, you know, a 50-50 ball that, you know, most quarterbacks, and definitely Russ, would think that Baldwin will win that. But, you know, if it's a 50-50 ball, I feel a little bit different. I feel like I'm going to be the winner of those.
James, sometimes when I watch you, like this play here, I feel like it's like almost like a basketball, like boxing one. Like you take this guy, we'll zone everything else. Like, is there part of that? Like, that's got to be, you got to like love that.
Especially if we're like this and I'm soloed on a receiver and he has a wide split or a normal split, I'm going to look to my safeties and I'm going to say, treat it as zero coverage and you go make a play.
You're man-to-man on the outside here, you and Darius, right? And then like you're zoning the inside. The problem that fans have, Jalen, honestly, is they never see the secondary unless there's a replay on TV. So they really don't know what you're doing. They don't know what the coverage is. So I feel like part of today is to educate fans, and part of it is to like explain, like this stuff is complicated. Like you did a lot of things with a defense that a lot of teams don't do, and a large part because of your ability.
That's your evolution, though.
Yeah.
That's a good job.
Yeah.
You made that happen. Way to run the show, dude.
I feel like you have to bring back the old cliche where 3/4 of the world is covered by ocean and Jalen Ramsey covers the rest. I feel like we got to dust that one off when we see plays like this right here.
That's kind of the island that I feel like I'm on, and the, you know, the zone that I can get in, how I feel like I can get just locked in into, you know, being elite.
Hey, you can't with me, Gronk. Hey, Gronk. Hey, baby. Let's go. Let's go. He can't with me. He can't with me. Gronk can't with me.
Jalen, a big part of this AFC Championship game was just taking Gronk out. Like you're on Gronk in the slot right here.
I had studied before this game the times that Gronk has won against a true corner and how he's played against a true corner, you know, in past times when Aqib Talib was with the Broncos and he had success on Gronk. I watched games like that. And so I felt like I remember going into that week asking coach, like, you know, here and there, let me get a piece of this action. We can still handle things the way we need to be handled, and they were all for it.
Hey, you can't with me, Gronk.
Went to them with the stats and, you know, kind of the analytics that they like to see about why it was a good opportunity for us. So I definitely always tell my, you know, coaches, especially my defensive coordinators and head coach, that look, whoever is their number one threat or target on offense, especially in the passing game, just put me on them. Because I take a lot of pride in, look, if this game is on me personally, then we'll win this game, coach. I'll make sure that we're in a position that we'll come out victorious in this game. If you put me on their number one threat, I will neutralize this number one threat, and we will have a great opportunity to win this game. I really take a lot of pride in that, and I work extremely hard throughout the week to make sure that I'm ready for any challenge that I come up against.
Does it play in both zone and man? Because obviously as a corner, we can say you're in zone, but there's going to be man principles within zone. So is there times where you will travel with guys in zone coverage just like you would in man coverage?
Yeah, there is times with the Rams and how they're allowing me to move around and play inside and outside and do so much different things all the time. I definitely can mix it up and play a lot of zone, man, as well while I'm matching up with certain guys. So the quarterback and, you know, the receiver not fully know, like, every time. Like, you know, when I was in Jacksonville, kind of, it was, if I was traveling, I was playing man-to-man 9 times out of 10. Yeah. But here with the Rams, it's like, oh, he might be playing man or zone, or oh, he followed him in the slot, or we don't know what he's doing. Is he gonna blitz? What is he gonna play? So I definitely like the way I'm being utilized here.
To me, one of the most fascinating things about this show is we can look at Jalen Ramsey, and Baldy broke it down earlier. I mean, you're long, you're strong, you're fast, you have all this ability, and oftentimes people just go, oh, well, Jalen's great because he's gifted with all this ability. What I love about this show is we get to go inside the mind of Jalen Ramsey. It's all those little things that really separate you, and I love the fact that our fans get a chance to see that and hear that from you.
This has been a journey for me, like growing to this point of where it can become a mental game, you know, as well as a physical game with me. So, yeah, I'm just thankful for everybody, like the team and everybody that's been surrounding me and helping me throughout this whole journey.
Jalen, thanks for joining us today, man. It was great, man. This is gonna be something I think everybody's gonna enjoy.